Thank you for joining us today. My name is Pt1, and I am a founding member of the advisory board of Creative Circles. We are an organization that interviews artistic types in all types of art. That could range from paintings to literature, sculpture, chefs. We'll talk to chefs about what they do, hairdressers. Art encompasses a large range. We are at the Trish Savitas studio in Boca Raton, Florida. And today my guest, Jennings, an artist and sculptor, and Catherine Carlisle, an artist and jewelry designer.
It's cheating.
Hold it.
Let me start that all again.
Bring it to speed, it's Catherine.
My guests today are Jennings, an artist and
Sculptor.
Catherine Carlisle, an artist and
one-of-a-kind jewelry designer and maker.
we are pleased to have them as guests today. And let me open by saying, Catherine, you're from Chicago,
That's correct, though.
and you were born.
Yeah, born in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
And how did, quite a difference there between Chicago and Puerto Rico. How, in your art, has that influenced you, coming from an island?
No matter where you are in the world, I think artists are influenced and a product of your experiences. So if it's a ladder that you would look at, is the same ladder that would be manufactured and seen in the United States.
And ladders are close to your heart, aren't they?
They absolutely are. So my ladders are anthropomorphized. I've given them human features. And
Let's go back, because you're sort of jumping into what you do. So
okay.
So you primarily paint or sculpture ladders?
So as a sculptor, I have a project that's related to my dear ladder friends, and where I anthropomorphize ladders, and ladders are a common utility in every household, every construction site around the world. My ladders almost have a soul to them. They have a personality because now they have human qualities to them, features. So I can't really say that having grown up in Puerto Rico influenced my ladders. It was the actual product that did.
Was there something in your life when you were young that had something to do with the ladder that has stayed with you through all the years that you wanted to make them human? Is he answering the question, or am I asking? It seems to have a lot of ladders in them. And is there something that influenced you very early in life, be it in Puerto Rico or somewhere else, that you wanted to make them human? Is there something that happened to you?
The ladders were developed, I came across the idea when I was remodeling a townhouse of mine and saw...
Was this when you were younger?
No, this was actually in 2004.
So this has nothing to do with Puerto Rico?
So it has nothing to do with Puerto Rico. However, if you want a correlation between Puerto Rico and my artwork,
mm-hmm.
it's the melody, it's the wording, it's the melodic verbalization of feelings that I bring from Puerto Rico that I move through my art.
How nice, the way you put that. When you first started, I didn't know where you were going with that, but you tied it nicely. You used a lot of, when you just spoke about Puerto Rico, you used a lot of references to music. Are you also a musician?
Yes, I am. I play piano, and it is more of my therapy. My business is art, developing sculptures, paintings, and drawings.
So let's jump back into ladders again. This was a project not too long ago.
Yeah.
It seems like time flies, doesn't it? Not too long ago that you developed this. Is it need? Is that the word? Need to go further into looking at ladders and humanizing them. So this
1997.
Okay. So this fascination with ladders which I'm fascinated that you were fascinated by ladders, occurred to you in the late 90s.
Yes.
And how did that come about?
The ladder project, as it morphed into, was I was remodeling a townhouse I had purchased. And talking with my general contractor, I was amazed at how he was able to insert a rather large beam in the ceiling. And I asked him how he did it. Well, I used my friends. There was no one present. He had made these braces and attached them to the wall and manually lifted this huge beam up in place using these little crutches, braces to his friends to hold the wood while he secured it to the ceiling. And one evening I was in my townhouse remodeling and saw a ladder. And it was in the corner of the living room.
Was it functioning as a ladder or was it laid against
a
something?
standing household wooden ladder. Then I put another ladder next to it because the correlation was that if Butch has some friends, the general contractor had imaginary friends working with him, I had two ladders, hence ladder friends.
So you didn't have many friends at the time? So you
I
needed
had
a
lots.
substitute with ladders?
I have never tried. I might be shy, but not shy of friends. Anyway, so I kept looking at these pieces and reduced the lighting to just one light, construction light, projected onto the ladders.
Can I interrupt?
Now
Because you're getting into a background of art that you had, and this is previous to, so you were an artist, so now you were looking at these very differently than just ladders. Prior to this, because you were looking at them artistically as opposed to something that's done in construction. They took on a new light to you.
I can't say I was looking at them artistically, it's just the way I saw them.
I guess you told me.
So as an artist, looking at these two ladders, all of a sudden with one light, they were shadows, there are two shadows on the wall. So not only did I have just two positive ladders, I had two shadow ladders. I can't differentiate between which one's positive and which one's negative. Is the physical ladder the positive, or is the shadow the positive?
What does positive and negative mean?
One or the other, like a film strip. You have a picture, which is a hard copy, and you have a negative, which is, on film, it's a hard copy too, but it's considered a negative. It is not a matter of energy, it's just a matter of trying to find when you're talking about one opposed to the other. So I looked at the shadows, and from my point of view, my perspective was, I had 4 ladder friends all of a sudden because of the lighting. Did I laugh? Hysterically. Because
So you're laughing at your friends.
I'm laughing at what has just happened. And what is it that comes upon me that one finds themselves in those moments? It's serious, it's hysterical. Everything combined into one. So as I look back at my childhood, you think about ladders and climbing. I was a tree climber since I was a kid. And so maybe these ladders were more of a sophisticated climb for me. And now it's become a methodical climb because I deliberately draw ladders with human features and with movement. Not everything that one sees does not have to be limited to its prescription. A fork can have bent tines. A ladder can have a twisted body. And you can still twist the body and the ladder stand up.
Could it be something to do that climbing a ladder is like you climbing into or climbing up the artistic world, that you are moving forward? in it.
Well, it's not just climbing up, it's climbing into and being in the park.
Climbing, say that again?
It's not just climbing up, but it's climbing into.
Climbing into.
Yeah. I mean, the creative process is just such an ascent. At times, it could be laborious, where you're trying to work something, but then you get to a point under a laborious sketch, let's say, where all of a sudden, what you're sketching is, the sketch is telling you what direction to go, and not me telling where to go. So there is.
So if I could sort of translate into a writer, so invented a character, and the character goes where he wants to go. You're saying the same thing happens as an artist, that it wants to have its own form and it develops that.
It takes its unique form, yes. Some things just are really quick and easy, and some take a lot of time.
Did you ever think about it at sort of a deeper level that of what a ladder might mean? Is there a psychological thing to it, or was it just something you discovered at that time and felt akin to it, and felt that you wanted to develop it?
So there's a duality of my dear ladder friends. Is it ladder or latter?
You know what? I was going to ask you that, and I was getting a little mixed up, and I'm going.
And I still
do
have
I? Are they still his friends now that they're the ladder with the D's?
It's not.
So the ladder, the latter, TT, are friends that you can move up with. The ladder, LADD, is something you wouldn't. So they would sort of stay in one place. Could we bring this lovely young lady into this?
Absolutely.